works. Oh, I don't have ammo. I have a turret. Take him out, turret. No, take him out, turret. Alright, I'll try. Oh! Oh, it was an AI in the helicopter, bro! No wonder! Oh man, that sucks. And we're getting railed. Fuck. They're not pushing very hard with it though. The heck? A Mexican voice instead. I will never even attempt a Mexican voice. Because I can't speak like an alien, bro. Oh, hold up. Wait, no. I can get this. I swear. I promise I can get this. I promise. What did I say? Please clip that. Someone. I've been missing all game, and then I was like, I can get this. Foot picks. Foot pick. It's hard, right? Hard. Those parries are juicy. Definitely inappropriate.
Yeah, I see you up there.
No, you don't. Bro, that did you see before when I was like at point blank with a guy, like less than a meter away from him, he brought his gun up, I just blocked it, so he basically just shot himself directly in the head. It was just instant, it was so brutal. God. Yes, and then oh, it's got blue 4 in it.
I have no idea. Did you that? Yeah, right. Probably like the exit. Oh man.
Fucked it, mate. Did you die, mate? Now it's got blue. Always a good time. I'm a little bit tired. That's my yawn noise. Oh. Let's go! I'm scared. I'm going straight in the back door, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah,
Hello.
through the stairs, that's why you like it.
I accidentally switched to the scene with the webcam earlier than I meant to.
You heard it. We heard it. Get him.
Hey, Sands of the Ages, supporting small streamers like myself with a follow. And if you want to follow me, go for it. Okay, well thank you for the follow. Also, top 10 teens of 2020 followed 2 hours ago, before I even started streaming.
A little one though.
So thank you, top 10 teens. But yeah, thanks, Sands of the Ages. This is my first D&D related stream,
there you
so
go. There you go. Oh, well, that was my finger.
I don't know how it'll go just yet, but we'll see.
Radiation poison is a serious thing.
I appreciate
That's true. You don't quite want the atomic sausage.
Okay, I might switch off the clips, just listening to how they are going. And go straight to that. And the other thing I wanted to do was find some music. It's gotta be some copyright free. Royalty free D&D. 11/in music. I like that. A bit loud. Very nice. I think that's good. I was so quick, by the way, Sam. I don't know if you're still there, but I only started streaming like 5 minutes ago. You immediately found me. And immediately left. I think it's a bot. Fans is a bot. Okay, where was I at? Oh, I could make my... Hold on. Still setting up. Maybe I could go just webcam for now. Yeah. I'll just stick with that for now. And I will do something cool and see how it looks. Alright, what we got? Where is it at? Automations? No. New scene? New scene gallery? Pretty sure. Are there like animated ones? I'm sure there's one that's like a fire. Right? Like automations. Hue Labs. I want to find something that's like fire. I'm sure it's a thing. It's got to be like the first automation they ever made. Okay, let me just explore. There must be a... Oh, this is cycling through different music. So for now, I'm just working on setting up. If anyone's watching and being very confused. I want hue, fire effect. Philips Hue fire effect. Candle flicker with hue. Candle fireplace effects in the Hue app. Yes, yes, yes. Effect. So where do you find that? Ah. It's a new thing for new hue bulbs. Okay, that's alright. We will still use something vaguely warm. Could check if I have anything. Okay. That'll do. So, since I need to do this with or without you, let me just roll these up. Allow me to make a new scene. Duplicate. Ah, I gotta stand up. Okay, one sec. I don't know, I'll just call it screen share. And we'll shut that up then. I'll grab that webcam. Shift it over here. And make it a little bigger. Transition. That'll do. That's alright. Hey Moose. Very glad to have you. I've already spent 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. How's the audio? How are you, Muse? Muse? How are you, Muse? How are you doing? Today, I am doing D&D things. And I kinda wanna get started because I'm burning time. Burning daylight? It's already nighttime, so I'm not burning daylight. I'm gonna talk about the Aarakocra. I'm good, thank you, Moose. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm very good. I'm happy to be talking about D&D today. I'm going to read from the Monster Manual. Oh shit, where'd my chair go? There we go. And I'll just spill all my water and shit. Yes. The Monster Manual. So, in fact, I'll go over the webcam first. And I will just read. So, bit of a slow start, but the plan is that I want to work through the Monster Manual and sort of like, I don't know, just look at all the monsters and do my own kind of, I guess, breakdown of them, but it's more for me, and I don't expect it to be perfectly suitable to everyone. PCM __. Welcome. Hello. I'm very new at this. Not new to streaming, but new to talking about D&D in front of other people. So, sorry, that was loud. I hope this goes alright. But basically today, I want to look at the Aarakocra. And someday later, I'll talk about aboleths and work our way through the Monster Manual, baby. But today, it is these bad boys. And now the SWAT team's going to show up because I showed paid content. You have to buy this book. Go on and on about D&D if I'm not stopped. Yeah, well, so can I, but this is the first time I've sort of streamed anything. Like, I don't know, it feels a bit... I'm making myself more vulnerable to criticism by doing it on the internet. That's what I said in the Discord, and I realized that's pretty much it. Just about to preach the book of D&D. There's several books of D&D, but yes. Especially now that I finally got into a new campaign. Oh, very nice, BC. Very nice. Alright, so I do want to get started though, because I have a bit of a structure that I want to follow. So first of all, I want to read out the lore bit, because I'm also going to export this to YouTube. And I don't want to have to edit it. I'm not going to edit it, so... anyway, I'm going to read the lore bit, the block of lore about the Aarakocra. So, give me a moment. Aarakocra range the howling gyre, an endless storm of mighty winds and lashing rains that surrounds the tranquil realm of Arca in the elemental plane of air. Making aerial patrols, these bird-like humanoids guard the windy borders of their home against invaders from the elemental plane of Earth, such as gargoyles. They're sworn enemies. That's immediately useful. Preacher of Church of D&D, yes. So, the next paragraph is titled Enemies of Elemental Evil. In service to the Wind Dukes of Arca, Aarakocra scout the plains in search of temples of elemental evil. And that's capitalized, so I'll have to look into that. They spy on malign elemental creatures and then either take the fight to those creatures or report back to the Wind Dukes. On the material plane, Aarakocra create, and anyone like Moose who doesn't know anything... Oh, actually, I don't know if you know anything about D&D. But for anyone who didn't, the material plane is basically like the normal place where we live, typically. And all the other places are outside of that. On the material plane, Aarakocra create Ares? Oh yeah, that's right. Aarakocra create Ares, which is like a nest, atop the highest mountains, especially peaks near portals to the elemental plane of air. From such heights, Aarakocra watch for signs of elemental incursions, as well as for nascent threats to their home plane. Aarakocra prefer to live their lives like the wind, unburdened and ever-moving. Yet they watch over a region for years if that's what it takes to guard against the incursions of elemental evil. Aarakocra have no concept of political borders or property ownership, and the value of gems, gold, and other precious materials means very little to Aarakocra. In their eyes, a creature should use what is necessary and then cast what is left on the wind for others to use. Very cool, very useful. And the last little bit is called Search for the Seven Shards. The Wind Dukes of Arca come from a race of elemental beings called the Vati, which once ruled many worlds. A creature known as the Queen of Chaos arose and initiated an interplanar war against Vati rule. To combat the threat, 7 Vati heroes combined their powers to create the mighty Rod of Law. In a battle against the Queen's greatest general, Miska the Wolf Spider, a Vati killed Miska by thrusting the rod into him like a spear. The rod shattered into 7 shards that scattered across the multiverse. Aarakocra seeks signs of the pieces' locations in order to rebuild what is now known as the Rod of 7 Parts. Okay, so there's a lot in there. Which means this... my headset cable's got... it's got under the book. This world building section is going to be pretty easy because that's pretty much what we just read out. So let me switch on over. I don't know how easy it is for you guys to read. I can zoom in a little bit. Let me... It's a bit better. So I just wanted to work through this kind of structure that I laid out, just to have kind of a document to sort of save it all. Now I just need to find a place to sit this bloody book. I'll just leave it on my lap. But starting with origins, so let's just do some dot points because nothing. I have to make it fancy, not yet anyway. I'll make it fancy later if it deserves it. So they are from the elemental plane of air, specifically the Halangaya, which is an endless storm of mighty winds and lashing rains that surrounds the tranquil realm of Arca. So we could basically interpret that, and I kind of just want to work from what's in this book rather than going and trying to find all the old resources from previous editions and stuff. Just because, partially as like, I guess like a challenge to use only what we have in this book, and also just to save time because there's probably a lot out there, and if you want to do that research, you don't need me to do this breakdown, you know? So this is essentially like a ring, it's a stormy region which surrounds, what's it called? Arca. A peaceful place in the eye of the storm. Right? That's pretty much where they are from. That sums it up. Like, that's a pretty simple answer, because it's written right there. Where can they be found today? Well, in the Howling Gyre. Howling Gyre, of course, but also, they can be found. Just reading this again. They scout the plains in search of temples of elemental evil, and they can be found scouting elemental plains or elemental evil. And in the material plane, atop the highest mountains, let's go. Let's do it the same as I did before. Plane of air, tab. Atop the highest mountains. Especially near portals to the plane of air. So I wanted to start with like just filling out these dot points, because at the end of this section I'll sort of combine it all into something vaguely useful in like a campaign. Well, it's not something I would, it's more like an example than something you would actually like copy and paste. So atop the highest mountains. Oh yeah, so it also says they create areas atop the highest mountains. Near their nests atop the highest mountains, especially near portals to the plane of air. Behavior, what do they do? Great question. Guard. Plane of air. Against earth elementals and elemental evil. That's pretty much what they do, right? They watch for signs of elemental incursions, solid for nascent threat for their main plane. Oh, wait, that kind of makes it sound like they guard the material plane against elemental incursion. Like, not just the plane of air, but also they're in the material plane to protect it. Perhaps. Hold on, the cat's scratching my door. Woman, you want to come into the room? Ask. Come in. Hey, Minnie. Hello. Yeah. Say hello to the camera. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful girl. Oh, do you want to sit with me? Oh, you do? You want to sit with me? Okay. Let me just grab my book. Hello. You wanted some company. Hmm? Oh, she's purring. Alright. I think that sums up where they're from and where they can be found. Hey, Minnie, don't you think? Yes. And what they do is guard the plane of air against earth elementals and elemental evil. So, I think they also guard the material plane. I'm gonna at least note that down. I'm gonna have to let you go, Millie. Come on. Oh, I know you don't want to. There you go. Kitty, yes. Where can the fucking chair go? There we go. Alright. In fact, let's make an executive decision and say they guard the plane against elemental incursions. Evil elemental incursions. Or something. So they clearly serve... They clearly serve some sort of greater order. And there's a lot of implication in that law bit that they serve law as opposed to chaos. I think. Evil / chaotic elemental incursions. Why do they do it? This is where we get into that law stuff. LAW. Oh, Minnie, do you want to leave? I just let you in. You want in? Oh, you bite me. Okay, you stay then. So... Oh yeah, and the search for the 7 shards. Right at the bottom it says, Aarakocra seeks signs of the pieces' locations in order to rebuild what is now known as the Rod of 7 Parts, which is the Rod of Law, which means they very much serve law. So... What do they do? Search for pieces of the Rod of Law / Rod of 7 Parts. They guard the plane of air because it is their home. They guard go loyalty. They guard the material plane. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna bend into this with their sort of neutral nature and say chaotic. They don't actually care about evil. I don't even know what the fuck elemental evil is. Hold on. Look that up. D&D by the elemental evil. Four apocalyptic cults of elemental evil are building secret sanctuaries and outposts throughout the... Oh, this is like a specific thing. Each cult is devoted to one of the princes of elemental evil, led by a nihilistic prophet. So it seems like sorry, I shouldn't have gone silent there. That's pretty pretty bad as far as streaming goes. I was just reading about the elemental evil. So it seems like they hold on, so Aarakocra elemental evil? Let me look that up. Temple of Elemental Evil. That's what I need to see. What is that? Oh Jesus. Choppy! Thumbs down. Right back at you, buddy. Right back at you, champion. Alright, I'm just going to assume Elemental Evil is actually guard the material plane against evil air-based elemental incursions. Against air-based elemental evil incursions. That's what I'll do. Oh, I'm not in chat. How are you, Choppy? How are you doing? What time? Oh my god, it's almost already 29 minutes wasted. Not wasted, but air-based elemental evil incursions. Search for pieces of Rod of Law, Rod of 7 parts. I need to learn more about that, but anyway. They guard the plane of air because it is their home. They guard the material plane because they are opposed to elemental evil. They wish to maintain balance. I'm scared what is happening. D&D stuff. Don't you remember? You literally said you were interested in the Discord. I mean, you were interested in this event. Millie, what are you doing? Make the choices. Church of D&D. Yes, I'm reading from the book. Well, I'm not actually. I already did that. But anyway, I have a structure I'm trying to follow here, Choppy. For the first hour, I'll talk about the world building, and before the hour is done, I want to create like a settlement, like a location and a settlement based on this stuff. They search for the Rod of Law. Oh, what can it do? Let's look that up. May as well look it up here. 5e Rod of Law. Rod of 7 parts, that'll do. The Rod of Law. But what can it do? Huh? D&D 5e, what does the Rod of Law do? You make the bird have STDs, or is that not possible? You totally can. Used to imprison the Queen's General, Mystical Spider, during the Battle of Pesh. I would take that as like the rod can contain people or something. Like it does lawful stuff. I don't know. Good curveball to give them STDs, so if the players try to have sex with them, they... Yeah, completely agree. And I'm not going to write it down. Okay, there's such a lot of law. Because the threat of chaos grows. Always. Not all previous points combine into a collective personality for these creatures. Militaristic. Oh yeah, and we know. So behavior. What do they do? Typically, do not stay in one place. Any longer than they need to. Because it does say, Aarakocra prefer to live their lives like the wind, unburdened and ever moving. Yet they watch over a region for years if that's what it takes to guard against the incursions of elemental evil. So, militaristic nomadic people who hate to stand still. The wind can be still sometimes. Stupid, the rod of law inhibits only the strongest of creatures, so it would be good to use against high-spirited fellows. Thank you, Choppy, for your in-depth analysis of the rod of law. They who get I don't know. They who value, I suppose, freedom, which is strange because they. Oh, actually, I think they would be. Who allow. Oh, their culture would be very high-tech super prison. Yeah, I mean, that's not far from the truth by the looks of it. It's not really stated clearly. Let fate guide them. They can seem uncaring. As they do, as the winds tell them. Do not get attached to things which pass. Andrew Tate would be making fun of you for doing this and would make fun of me for watching Twitch and twerking on it. Thank you, that's what I really needed right now. My first D&D stream is for... Who the fuck is this guy? Kickboxer and internet personality? For this dude to be making fun of me. Thanks, Choppy. I appreciate it. Very supportive. So militaristic, nomadic people who prefer to let fate guide them. They can seem uncaring as they do. This is a bad sentence, but it's okay. We're not writing a novel. Let's just write. Because they do as the winds tell them and do not get attached to things which pass, which they know will pass. Okay. But they're also sort of purposeful. The winds which guide them are the incursions they defend against, and the leads they follow about the rod of law. Like a coin, there's no in between. It's either he speaks facts or straight stupid shit. Fair enough. Because let's actually do because of some looming threat. Looming ancient threat. The same one the rod was originally used against. Because that's sort of actually they search for. Let's just do because they don't know something bad might happen. Good morning, sire. How fare thee on this fine day? I fare well. Wait. I guess that's still true. Thank you, Hast. Hast3110. And how fare thee? I can't really speak Old English very well, I'm not gonna lie. So I gotta go. I have to wake up early to enjoy D&D. Thank you, Choppy. I will enjoy my D&D talking, I guess. Brainstorming. All is well up here in the cold north. Sending greetings from the island of Svalbard. Ah, Svalbard. Wow. Thank you. Very, very warm greetings from down here in Australia. I can't keep up with like Old English stuff. It's 1,000 kilometers south of the North Pole. I have no idea how far we are from the closest pole here in Australia, but I guess we're closer than most. You literally saw a polar bear yesterday. Wow. That's spooky. Are they dangerous, or are they sort of... they only attack you if you attack them? I mean, they could still be dangerous, but like, are they hostile? So they've summarized the culture. And how much time have I got? Another 20 minutes or so? Okay. For the world building. I'm sort of timing it out. So the first hour of the stream I want to spend on the world building. I think I will jump into this, use the last 20 minutes to create something. So, logically, Imperial Plain. Extremely high mountain. Tallest mountain in the region, whatever region it may be. Don't need to do all that, I can just write that. We are literally required by law to be armed. Polar bear is the only animal on Earth that literally hunts humans on sight. Jesus. Did you know Norway and Australia share a land border? I don't know if that is true, unless you mean some kind of underwater land or under ice or something. I don't know where that is. Oh, as in the slice of Antarctica that that we technically own for research purposes. Do we share a land border there? Oh, that is a fun fact. I suppose, is it the same as like, I suppose it is, if we own that region, it is technically part of Australia, isn't it? It's all about ownership. Thank you for the eyeball, Hast. I won't ask you where you found it. Alrighty. Where was I going with this? Oh yes, tallest mountain in the region. So we would have rumors of bird people, of course. In the local settlements, couldn't not have them. No, 100%. The claims on the South Pole is basically what we would take if the land came up for grabs. Yeah, I have read about it a little bit, and it's sort of like from what I understand, it came about because people wanted to do research down there, and then people started talking about claims, and so they were just like, oh, let's just divide it semi-evenly, even though it's not really even, and there, you know, many countries don't have any claim. But yeah, it's pretty much just there for research at the moment. Like, there's nothing of value there, I don't think. Like, mine the resources? Oh, there are resources there. I guess that makes sense. I mean, I read about it years ago, so maybe the mining operations weren't as developed as they are now. Or maybe I just read the wrong article. But anyway, I could be a bit more detailed with that, but we're just working out the location they live. We don't... we can leave that there, that's fine. But it won't be the top point. It'll be... I hate having this in dark mode because I can't see the little cursor. There we go. Nest and makeshift military settlement. Tents, of course. Bit sidetracked? Yeah, that's okay. No worries. It's only because I sort of have a structure I'm trying to follow, so that because I want to do this for like every creature. You're not that late, average. You're like 40 minutes late. You're all good. Still got a solid 2 hours and a bit before I stop streaming. Welcome. I had this written down, then lost track of time. That's all good, man. We were just talking about the world building of the Aarakocra. So these are the Aarakocra. Bird people. They come from the elemental plane of air. A place called the Howling Jaya is their home. Possibly Arca as well, but not... It says they range the Howling Jaya. So... Just got home from running a special D&D event at the local game store / library. The players got to make their characters totally in secret from everyone else and the DMs. Then when they all showed up, we pulled names from a basket and dispersed them to tables. Oh, that's cool. So no one necessarily played the character they made. You had an all-cleric party? Forge, War, Twilight, and 2 life cleric? That's a lot of clerics. I guess that's not so surprising. Clerics are one of the more interesting classes when it comes to subclasses. Their subclasses are so like diverse. They're very cool. I feel like they overcompensated for the fact that when you think about a cleric, it sounds boring. And they're like, oh, we better make the gameplay actually not boring. When you think about a fighter, you think, hell yeah, it's going to be sick. And then they did the opposite. It's like, you attack, but 5 times. Sorry, average. D&D stuff, you know how it is. No. Anyway, what I was working through, I was just going to tell you where we're at. So these Aarakocra, these bird people, they're from the elemental plane of air, which is a place outside where normal people live. It's like made of air and storms and stuff. So they come from there. But in the material plane, which is where we live, they make their nests on top of the highest mountains, especially near portals to the elemental plane of air. So they guard those portals against earth elementals, especially gargoyles, which are their main enemies. Play their own characters, but no one else knew, so they could not metagame with combos. Oh, interesting. 4 tables, so 20 PCs, every single cleric got shunted to me. Oh, I see. So the DMs were the ones that drew the... Like, you drew for who your party members were. Okay, that makes sense, yeah. Cool. Very interesting. So how did that go? How did that cleric game go? Right, so the Aarakocra guard against elementals, especially gargoyles, and evil. Elemental evil is like evil versions of not themselves, but other people, other creatures from the plane of air. And they search for pieces of the Rod of Law, which is something from their past, ancient past. They also don't stay in one place any longer than they need to. They like to fly and move on to the next thing. They do all this because they protect the plane of air because it's their home. They guard the material plane in order to maintain balance / law, I guess. They seem to be lawful, very lawful. Thank you, Average, for the eyeball. Appreciate it. And they search for the Rod of Law because of some looming ancient threat. Actually, oh yeah, that's right. Because they fear the return of ancient threats. But it may not necessarily be anytime soon, but they would still be searching for it. Because you don't want to say, like, because the Rod of Law is present, therefore the enemy to vanquish it must also be present. Like, no. They search for it one way or another. They wouldn't wait to find clues that they need the Rod of Law before they go and search for it. So we ended up with a culture of militaristic, nomadic people who prefer to let fate guide them. They can seem uncaring because they do as the winds tell them and do not get attached to things which they know will pass. The winds which guide them are the incursions they defend against and the leads they follow about the Rod of Law. So this special event was where the parties run a gauntlet of bosses and trapped rooms, gathering loot and equipment as they only started with their base equipment, so if they found, say, a full plate in a chest, they could upgrade. Today we're going to move over to a PvP tournament where the parties fight in a huge arena. Wow, some really cool like player-focused stuff. Very interesting. Lots of like sort of meta stuff, like it's mixing up the parties and PvP. Very interesting. Do you know what the plans are for the arena? Anything specific or interesting you want to share? Because I'd love to hear it. How much time have I got? A few more minutes. Just to work out a sort of location. So, tallest mountain in the region. At the top, we have nests in makeshift military settlement. Rooms of bird people in the local settlements. Portal to elemental plane of air is suspended in the clouds. Settlement is there to defend it until it passes, because I assume the portals must pass, because otherwise the Aarakocra wouldn't ever, like, they would always have to stay there. Unless the individuals leave, but the settlement stays. Oh. Like taking shifts. It's a usual gladiator arena where Party A enter on one side and Party B enter on the other. They fight to the death. Fair enough, nice and simple. No environmental threats in there. No lava pits. Spike traps. Or spike walls. You're the DM that will be running the combat, oversee rules, etc. DM is Dungeon Master, yes, Average. And a Dungeon Master, so in D&D you've got the Dungeon Master sort of adjudicates the rules, so like a referee, but that's very much not the only thing they do, but it's one of the things they do. And look at me, I'm looking at you. I'm learning so fast. Oh yes, very good. But yeah, so they there's a lot to it, but basically they like the referee for the rules, and they describe the world, and they play all the characters that aren't the player characters. So Hast will be the DM managing the combat between two groups of players in the gladiator arena. So as they take their turns, they'll describe, he or she, sorry, yes, they will describe the player's actions and any other environmental actions if there are any. But it seems like the gladiator arena is fairly simple, so there might not be anything else. Do you believe the cleric, he, him? Okay, cool. The cleric party will win as they are literally all the clerics, no clerics at all in the other teams. Yeah, true, 2 life clerics. The only other healers on the other teams are Celestial Warlock and an Artificer. It's not that much heals compared to the Amen. Yeah, it's gonna be if I was against a team of clerics, you got to target the healers. You got to like alpha damage those healers as hard as you can to even have a chance, because otherwise, you know, no matter what you do to the others, they'll get back up. I feel like, do you think that's the play? I suppose they are all healers. I was thinking of the life clerics specifically, but they're just even better healers. Like, but they're all healers. Yeah, good point. I guess, yeah, I would still target the life clerics, but... Oh, maybe, I don't know. I don't know enough about the other domains to know, like, what's the best thing to target there, I guess. But I'm also not that versed in PvP, so I wouldn't know. Hopefully those players know better than I do. To defend... Someone's there to defend the portal until it passes. Oh, wait, let's say settlement... Okay, wait, we're not... Might be there to defend the portal until it passes. Might be... a temporary settlement to scout for a piece of the rod. Might have appeared might be hunting a lead on elemental evil incursion. Oh, actually, I'm not really meant to be talking about that yet in the world building section. Life is main healers. Twilight can give temp HP and heal. The Forge and War may be better at the actual fighting. They can cast healing spells, yeah. I suppose in that case, maybe you'd want to target Forge and War Cleric. Because then the rest are just healers. But mostly just healers. Because then it's like, yeah, you can heal, but like, what else are you going to do? Can you out-heal the damage? I mean, in order to have a chance, I guess... Yeah, probably, maybe. What do you think? In order for a team to have a chance against a team of clerics, what would they have to do you think? Also, I've just resigned my fate to this being a very... I will actually speak to you in the chat instead of like trying to make this into like a video that's appropriate for YouTube. I'm still going to put it on YouTube, but I'm not going to bother trying to like keep it snappy, you know? It's just not fun. I'd rather talk to you guys. The Forged Cleric is the tankiest PC I've ever seen. A Warforged, Forged Cleric, full plate and Ender Shield. Level 6, Fighting Initiate, Fighting Style Defensive, AC of 26. Oh. Damn. You know, at level 6, I know, man, the chances of hitting a 26, if you ignore nat 20s, well, nat 20, you can't ignore nat 20s, but The Tarask has an AC of 25. That's funny. The chance of actually hitting him are very low. Very low. That will be... I guess I'll have to rely on saving throws. Do any other teams have good spells to hit him, whatever his lowest ability score is, worst save is? So... Makeshift military settlement, tents, portal elemental plane of air is suspended in the clouds. Hunting elite and elemental evil incursion. Rumors of bird people in the local settlements. You know what, that will do. Nice little... I don't know, that'll do. I don't think I need the rumors thing, but... But... That's okay. That's okay. We'll just keep this as like a rough draft. It's nothing crazy. So that's what we can come to. That they have a little temporary settlement near a plane on top of a mountain near a portal to the plane of air. We've got a bunch of reasons that the settlement is there or might be there. Let me just... Rumors of bird people in local settlements, but no contacts. I don't think they would really condemn to talk. Let me check, and I can write out the other teams. Well, I'm not, as you may have noticed, I'm not an expert in PvP combat, so I was more wondering what you think they would have to do to give the clerics a chance of losing, but I mean, I'll do my best. I'll theory craft. Okay, so that's my little world building bit. So now I will move on to adventure planning. So a bit more specific. So I have this little structure, little template. So problem drivers. Existing. Does their lore mention any existing predators, preferred prey, agendas, or rivalries? So I've already touched on this in the world building, but we have... primary enemy is gargoyles. We have purpose is to guard against earth elementals and elemental evil. Searching for Rod of 7 Hearts. Best I can think of is Team C is 3 different wizards, so they may counterspell the clerics out of healing. That would be funny. Yeah, they run out of counterspells and then what? Interesting. Okay, so we've got these sort of existing problem drivers. So there. Agents of elemental evil. Been following me for 1 year and 8 months average. I appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions about D&D average, feel free to ask. Transmutation my ass, like... It's one of my favorite types of wizards. Team C is 1 transmutation wizard, 1 evocation wizard, and 1 divination wizard. 1 wild magic sorcerer, and 1 beastmaster ranger. They're called Team Glass Cannon. I feel that, and they're not even that much of a cannon. Like, transmutation isn't really about, or divination, neither of them are really about damage. Divination helps. Transmutation is helpful as well, because you get some cool stuff, but... And wild magic is really... Thank you for the bits, Malevolent. Hello. How many is that? 6. I can't count that high. 8. Now I must have badge. Screw chop. He just went to bed. He's speaking ill of the asleep. But thank you. Welcome. How you doing? The Evocation Wizard would be the best to have on board. Yeah. I feel like even as a team of glass cannons, they don't have a whole lot of cannon, you know? Like, they're obviously more damage than they are healing or tankiness, but they're not. It's not like they are all Evocation Wizards and Hyper Eldritch Blast Warlocks and Fighters. Like, that would be full DPS, right? And the Beastmaster Ranger, I don't know how good that is. I don't know the details, but I don't remember Beastmaster Ranger being that great. Good, no one to challenge me, unless... Alright, anyway, getting into adventure planning. So we've got their existing problems that we know about. Emergent problems, so I put this one in. What problems might arise, this should say, as a result, reslut, as a result of our world building. So this is something, if we look at the location we made, first of all, tallest mountain in the region. Straight up, wildlife or monsters which live in or near mountain peaks. Easy threat right there. A bit of a boring one because it doesn't really play into their history, but it might be interesting. You could make it interesting. Oh, you know what? You can have a natural problem because it doesn't have to be an enemy, right? Something like a landslide or an earthquake, which actually earth elementals love to cause. Landslide / earthquake. Ruining settlement. That is not how you spell settlement. Interesting choice of letters. Team D is even more screwed as they are 2 monks, 1 enchantment wizard, 1 rune knight, and a shadow sorcerer. Actually, I feel like I missed a team. What was Team B? Oh, you haven't listed Team B, never mind. What exactly are we doing, Liveline? Well, I am working through what we learned about the Aarakocra. These are the Aarakocra here. In the wonderful monster manual. Here they are. On this side. Sorry, Millie. I woke up the cat. So I already sort of worked through a little bit of world building, pretty much just taking notes, really. But now I'm onto the stuff where we actually use those notes to think of some new things. So world building is like, how do you fit them into your world? Where do they live? Where do you find them, right? So we know that they typically be found in the top of really tall mountains. I've not written Team B. Okay. And Chowder, he's got sexy thighs because all birds have sexy thighs. If you ever looked at a bird, you would know that. And also welcome, Chowder. Yeah, that shit bigger than the Bible and dictionary combined. What else was I saying? Oh yeah, so they're here. They're sort of nomadic. They don't like to sit in one place for too long. So they have a makeshift military settlement on top of a very tall mountain, and it's there. They either came through a portal from the plane of air, or they are protecting one. Either way, there's a portal there. Lots of buffering leveling. Oh, damn. Is anyone else having an issue like that? Do I need to, Well, I can't really do anything about that, actually. Not mid-stream. But next stream I could reduce the quality or something. Team B is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancients Paladin, Samurai, and Psy Warrior. I feel like I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team have pretty decent damage? Team B? What's Artillerist? Is that the Eldritch Cannon? That's got to be no buffering here? Well, okay. Just Malevolent. Sorry, Malevolent. I don't know, just as a bird's eye view of Team B, it seems kind of alright. Maybe? I haven't actually looked at Celestial Warlock before. Everyone always goes the Fiendish or the Lovecraftian route. They need one to hit, and two, they can be out-healed by the backliners. Yeah. They do need to be able to hit. Looks like the bot is broken still and cannot change colors of my lights. So I will change them for you, Average. There we go. Anyway, so planning the adventure. So we've got two emergent threats from the fact that they live on mountains, and well, not threat, but like a problem. Portal closing before they can get home? Question mark? I don't know how well that works, but it's an idea. We just chuck ideas down around here. We'll leave the question mark there. Okay. So then we get to. Oh, that was very loud. Thank you for the follow, Ass. Appreciate it. Happy to have you. I have to go. I start the tournament in 15. Oh shit! I didn't realize how soon that was happening. 15 minutes. See you around. Looking forward to future streams. Thanks, man. Looking forward to having you at future streams. Enjoy the tournament. Good luck to my. I'm rooting for Team B. Good luck to Team B. It's 11:15 a.m. there. Ah, okay. It is 7:15 p.m. here. Alrighty, enjoy. See you next time, man. What is that? Hyper cheese. Is the music coming through alright? Everyone else? Everyone who's hanging out? I forgot to check on that. Some nice music, very chill. I like this. I like the vibes of this stream. It's been fun so far. So we have some problems that the Aarakocra may need to deal with. Monsters live in or near mountain peaks. Let's give that a Google. Windy beyond monsters. No, not my phone. I was not talking to you, phone. What was the question? I just got back. How's the music? It has the background music. Can you hear it okay? And is it a good volume? So I want... here. Mountain! Aarakocra, of course. Aarakocra Simulacrum? What the fuck? Desert. No. We just want mountains. Oh, Silver Dragon. They're lawful good, so they would actually be quite kind. But maybe... Silver Dragon. Non-combat problem. Because they would be friendly with each other, but they may have some other kind of issue. Let's see. I guess most dragons are kind of looking at. It's good. That's good, Average. I'm glad. You have any questions, Average? Anything you're wondering about? Hags. Ooh. Hold on, let me have a little read of this. They lair in mountains or hills. These hunchbacked and hump-shouldered hags are the largest and most physically imposing of their kind, standing 8 feet tall. They can easily tear a fully grown person apart, but they love hunting their young, preferring their flesh above all others. Oh, I remember this one. I can read more about that later, but let's chuck that in the list. And this hag. An auroch. It's just like a beast. Balhanath? Oh, I've seen that before. But that lairs like inside mountains, right? Native to the Shadowfell. Yeah. I think I've heard of this. Isn't there like chaotic good and like lawful good? Yes, so that's alignment. Over here, alignment. Chaotic evil, neutral evil. Look up an alignment chart. Okay, hold on. A D&D alignment chart. What the hell is that? That's so confusing. None of these are very good, actually. What? It's not that hard. It's a very simple. D&D 5e alignment chart. I mean, I guess. Oh wait, what's this? Holy shit! That's so much more complicated than it is. I don't know. These are all okay. You know what? This is good enough. What? There. That's the alignment chart. So you would have. So this side is all lawful. This side is all chaotic. And the middle is all neutral. And the top is all good. And the bottom is all evil. And the middle is all neutral. So the middle is called neutral or true neutral, which is actually the hardest one to describe. And people have different ideas about what the alignments mean, and they're really not very good. It's not a very good system for describing a real human being, but it's the way D&D describes. It's like a shorthand way to tell if a person's like motivations or personality. And the gods have alignments, and the realms they live in have alignments. So like demons are all evil, for example. Demons and devils are all evil. So the way I tend to look at it is that lawful means you are consistent, you follow a code of some kind. It doesn't have to be the actual law. Yeah, I'll get into that right now, Malevolent. Lawful being just that you have a code, and it's kind of, I kind of think of it, when I learned about ethics, there's this idea of consequentialism versus non-consequentialism, which is a fancy way of saying some people believe that you can do anything as long as the to do good at all costs, right? So like they have no rules about how they do good, as long as at the end of the day they've done more good than they have bad. And that would be chaotic, right? That would be someone who says the ends justify the means. Like, I'll torture a person, I'll kill a person, I'll do whatever, as long as at the end of the day I saved 1 million people, or something like that, right? That would be chaotic, because you do a lot of bad things in order to do what you think is a very good thing. Not necessarily, but that's one. That's like one example of chaotic. Is like your individual actions don't have any rules. Um, Whereas lawful's the opposite. Lawful's like, I don't care that this would save the world. It's against my rule. I don't kill people. You know, I'm not going to kill this one person. I don't murder. That's one of my rules. Even if murdering this person would save the world, that's a rule. That's a line I won't cross. And that would be a lawful person. That's just an example. Not every lawful person is like that. Not every chaotic person is like the other one. But that's like a super easy to understand example of the difference. The hardest one to describe is neutral. So I think of neutral as lawful when there are low stakes and then chaotic when there are high stakes. So they have rules in their day-to-day life, like I never litter, I will never get into physical altercations, I always try to resolve things with words and stuff. But once the stakes get high enough, they switch and they go, okay, the rules no longer matter. I'm now going to throw away my rules for a moment so I can do this good thing. Batman may be neutral good and Superman lawful good. I don't know a lot about either of them, but Superman's probably lawful good, yeah. And Batman also has rules that he won't break, like he never kills anyone. I don't know. It's because they're immediately those characters are like they're real characters, so like it's hard for me to say. Depending on the perspective you take, you could give them a different alignment because genuinely complex characters often don't fit an alignment because the alignment system it's not perfect. But yeah, he will torture, but I guess it's just a question of whether he'll break his own rules or if he doesn't have rules. Because you might have a rule that says, I will always torture people who have tortured others. And like, that's your rule. And then someone says, no, wait, don't torture this one because, they've learned their lesson already. You don't need to torture them. And you're like, no, this is my rule. This is my code. I need to torture them. So that would still be lawful. Definitely has a code. Yeah, he definitely has I guess it's a question of whether he would ever break his code. If he has a code, but there are situations where he breaks it, then I would call that neutral. If he has a code, but he would never break it, then that would be lawful. And if he doesn't have a code at all, or has a super loose code that he breaks all the time, then that would be chaotic, I think. Chaotic sexual? Most people call chaotic neutral chaotic stupid because people who pick that usually don't really understand it and they pick it because they don't actually want an alignment and they want to do stupid shit. Leaning toward lawful good for Batman then? Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know a whole lot about Batman, but I do feel like he's probably more lawful good. I actually, from the little snippets I've seen of like memes and stuff from like Justice League cartoons, I feel like Superman might be more of a neutral good. Like he would be willing to, like kill someone to save the world or something, whereas Batman wouldn't. Like he normally doesn't kill people, but like Superman normally doesn't kill people, but he would if he had to. Whereas Batman is like, no, I would never do it. I would not break that rule. Speaking of memes, check Discord. All right, I can check Discord. Oh no. What if he removes censor bar? That would be so funny. By the way, can you please remove the censor bar? Because I want to see what it is. Just curious. Just curious. Like, what is it? Man. Depends what universe you're pulling from, probably right. No, well, you're absolutely right as well, because different writers portray the characters differently. So, in one comic, Batman could be lawful good, and in another one, he might actually break one of his rules. And maybe everyone who likes Batman hates that comic because, like, he would never do that. But and same with Superman. So, um, and usually a real human being, they grow and change over time. So you could start out being very, or at least believing that you are lawful, and then you come across a situation that your moral code doesn't have an answer for, and you're like, fuck, and then you just have to break your rules because they don't work. Um, so in that moment, you're not being lawful, you're breaking your own rules. And then you might make new rules later and you might become lawful again. But yeah, so like real complex people, they're not static like these, but it's just you kind of think of it as like a shortcut, basically. It is interesting. It is fun to think about. It's not something I like to use in games, uh, because again, I think it's more interesting just to try to create a character with motivations and passions and like I don't know. I don't think most of the people I play with need alignment to help them figure out what their character would do. But it is good, especially for newer players, to sort of like if they're really not sure, then you can just say, well, your alignment is this, so maybe you do this. Um, so it's helpful for sure, but it's not necessary at all to the game. Especially in the latest version of D&D, because um, there's like no rules that actually use alignment. There's like pretty much nothing in the game actually cares what your alignment is. It's literally just there for, it's like your character's name. Like there's no spell that only affects people whose name starts with J. And there's no spell that only affects certain alignments. But in previous editions there were. So it's 5th edition is a little different. Oh, this is a smooth video. The fuck? That was so quick. All right. Anyway, I'm trying to design an adventure here. Average, okay. So speaking of alignment, this is not the same alignment, by the way. This is my stupid version of alignment where I'm just oversimplifying it. Let me just get rid of this. We've got 2 cool ideas there: Silver Dragon and his hag. So this is because this is a template. We know that the Aarakocra are most likely going to be friendly and smart because they are smart. But we could think about all the other ones too. So the Aarakocra, would they be willing to ask the PCs for help with a problem? Yes, they would ask for help if the PCs were nearby and happened to demonstrate their abilities in front of the Aarakocra, as if they thought together by coincidence or the winds, because that's what the Aarakocra care about. Yeah, we'll leave the answers simple here. If not, what situation might make them desperate enough to do so? So let's say we have some Aarakocra that don't want to ask the PCs for help. Maybe they don't trust the PCs. What would make them desperate enough to do so? Agents of elemental evil have a piece of the rod of law and the Aarakocra unable to retrieve it themselves. Yeah, you know, that's pretty that adds up. I'll be right back because I need to pee. Then I will continue talking about D&D. in the no, bro's not even in the camera and mic to piss. Not even bringing it. Yeah, sorry, man. Listen, next time I'll get a little wireless camera. I'll bring it in the toilet with me. I'll drop it in the toilet by accident. We'll have a laugh. You know, it'll be great. Until then. Mans don't even have a shit bucket. No, don't tell people that. I totally have a shit bucket, guy. I totally have one. I'm great at Battlefield. You don't believe this man. Do not believe him. He doesn't know me. No, please don't face palm. How can the PCs determine this creature needs help? Friendly and stupid. Well, that's just not the case. So, because Aarakocra are not stupid. They are smart. This was me being lazy with the wording. Smart just meaning like you can talk to them, you can communicate with them. Stupid meaning you can't. Hostile and smart. How does killing or capturing the PCs further their agenda? Ooh. The PCs have a piece of the rod of law. The PCs are helping perhaps unknowingly Earth elementals prepare for an offensive against the Aarakocra. I could see them being hostile and stupid. PC player, yes, yep. So it stands for player character. So there are many characters, just like an NPC is a non-player character. Although I think some people do say player controlled or non-player controlled, well, not player controlled. But I'm pretty sure it started out as the C being character. It means the same thing though. If the Aarakocra were being hostile and stupid, how and why would the PCs want or need to enter this creature's territory? They need to get to the plane of air for some other reason. Maybe. I don't know. Need to reach the plane of air for some reason. I mean, that's the only reason. No, I don't think this really matches up. They're not hostile and stupid. They're smart. So they're either going to be friendly and smart, or they're going to be hostile and smart. Come up with the info from the world building section. Create a hook, a specific setting, an objective, and 2 or 3 challenges. Ooh, okay. Hook. The PCs. The pissies. Wait, so what are you doing? I'm just, I guess it's kind of like a practice run. Like I'm just, if I were going to use, as a DM, the Dungeon Master, if I were going to use these guys in my game, in a session I was running, this is the kind of prep I want to practice doing. So I'm practicing doing this prep, even though I'm not about to run a game with them. So started with world building, which was figuring out, you know, how to put them in the world, and then went to adventure planning, which is figuring out why, you know, like what kind of quest or mission would involve them. What the fuck? What do you mean? What kind of quest or mission would involve these creatures? And then the last thing is gameplay, which is how they actually work when you're actually playing. Problem average? Did I scare you? What is the hook? The PCs You can just pick one. Find a mining town under attack. Earth. Emerge from the mines. You got it? BRB? Okie dokie. On one of the enemies, they find a piece of the Rod of Law. They do not know what it is. Okay, so this sets the scene. With the PCs defending the town from Earth Elementals. So they're already enemies of the Earth Elementals. But the Earth Elementals had a piece of the Rod of Law, which the PCs loot, so now they have that. What is this object? How strange. Okay, the next thing is... Oh, well, I already did the setting, I guess, but let's be a bit more specific. Setting. Mining town. At the base of the tallest mountain in the region. Mining for precious gems, maybe. Oh, let's just make it mining for iron. Aarakocra settlement and portal to the plane of air sits atop this mountain. Objective. Oh yeah, so I guess what I would say is, because this isn't really a hook, this is like a fight and then nothing else. Afterwards, some Aarakocra arrive, intending to fight the Earth Elementals. Aarakocra and Air Elementals arrive. Need to find the Earth Elementals. So let me look back on this. Because what I'm thinking is I want them to start out as like clearly being helpful to the Aarakocra, and then later discovering the Aarakocra are looking for this rod. And be like, oh, we have that. That's tricky to pull off there. Let me look back over this. Oh, yes. Upon seeing that the... let me... this is missing the whole rest of the fucking... Let me just do this as like a tabbed thing. There we go. Aarakocra and Elementals arrive, intending to fight the Earth Elementals. Upon seeing that the PCs feature them. Actually, let me just keep this short and sweet. They search the elementals, then ask the PCs to help them defend their home, perhaps? Or no, that's too out of left field. Ask PCs to help them track down another group of elementals inside the mountain. Actually, not another group. The portal. The portal the Earth elementals came from. It's grabbing a fresh glass of Ribena. Yo, it's been so long since I've had Ribena. I'm jealous. But it's kind of warm right now, so I don't know, I'm kind of into my hot drinks. Help them track down the portal the other elementals came from. Inside the mine. I don't know how I want the Rod of Law to play into it. I mean, I guess let's forget the Rod of Law for a moment and just think about Earth Elementals. Mining town under attack from some Earth Elementals, which emerged from the mines. Ask the PCs to track down the portal the Earth Elementals came from inside the mine while they defend their settlement from gargoyles. Shit hits different. That's fucking fucked. No, that's fine. It do hit different. Don't it? Search the elementals and ask the PCs to track down the portal the Earth Elementals came from inside the mine while they defend their settlement from gargoyles. I'm trying to think of like a way to make the Rod of Law thing interesting, but it's just like they find it, and then the Aarakocra asks them if they have it. They say, "Yes, I have that," and the Aarakocra say, "Can I have it? Can I have that piece of thing you have?" PC's like, "Sure, it's just a piece of a rod, I guess." Like, "Thank you, bye bye." Like, I can't think of a way to tie it in. Maybe I shouldn't tie it in off the bat. Bruh, can't you wait till I fix the bot before you start? Wasn't it already purple? Oh no, I had it on like a soft orange. Maybe I should just try to narrow this down and remove the Rod of Law. Actually, let me get rid of that. That is the hook. We're just talking about a hook here, right? The hook is They need the PCs to go into the mountain, find the portal, and close it. And then you can make a bunch of more detailed stuff from that. But, you know, mining town are attacked by earth elementals. They defend it. Aarakocra show up and be like, hey, can you go into that mine and find the portal they came out and close that shit? And then you'd be like, okay, yes. And then you have fun cave adventure. And then you come back out and the Aarakocra have killed everyone. Objective. Well, it's very simple, isn't it? Find the Earth portal. Podal? POTUS? Potful? Find the portal to the plane of Earth and close it. Two or three challenges. Challenges. One. Earth elementals. Obviously. Two. Well, earth elementals and cave creatures. Actually, let's change this and one challenge. Two or three challenges. Let's just leave it at that. Earth elementals. Okay, creatures. Sorry, I read your message and I completely ignored you. Put on Australian music. I don't know what Australian music is. Probably just like country or some shit. Kind of broad. It sure is, but here's what we'll do. I'm not going to put anything specific there because it's sort of meant to be like an example. I'll put some examples. I'm pretty sure cave's in here. Underdark is close enough. Aboleth. Yeah, okay, wait. Let's bring the challenge rating down to 1, 2, like, I don't know, 2. Nice and easy. Oh my god. Hold on. I also want to set the source to core D&D. I don't want any other crossover shit. I don't want no Rick and Morty cave creatures, dude. And also, I could probably expand this a little bit. We could go up to like 4. I've got this Kruthic thing, but I kind of don't want that. What is this? Babao. Oh, I remember that. Oh wait, we can change the types. Hold on. We want beasts, and we want elementals, and we want monstrosities. That's the kind of theme we want, really. The other stuff, not so much. Amphisbaena? I don't know what the fuck that is, bro. Here we go. Carrion crawler. Well, let me click on it. Cave fisher, also a good one. Dark mantles are good fun. Steeder, fire snake. I don't care about fire. No, Webbo just said Rick and Mary characters. Funniest shit I ever seen. 4-armed gargoyle sounds pretty cool. That's content I don't have. Never mind. Gargoyle. Giant bat, giant centipede. Giant mimic? Is it just... Wait, roctopus? The fuck is a roctopus? Hook horror. Yeah, we got a bunch here though. Carrion crawler. They scour putrid flesh from carcasses and gobble the slimy bones that remain. They aggressively attack any creature that trespasses on their territory or disturbs their feasting. Yes. The cave fisher, this weird fucking scorpion looking shit. The dark mantle. This is like it looks like a stalagmite. And then it attacks you and kills you. Which stalagmites don't typically do. And then there's also like the opposite of this called a roper. It's in here. Should be. Oh, piercer as well. Which is just a small roper. Rust monster. Let's go. Bats, insects, and shit. The wretched. Wait, where's the roper? R. Where's the roper, dude? That's a thing. I'm not kidding, bro. It's real, bro. Oh, maybe it's. Wait, what? It's real. Oh, there it is. Carrion crawler, cave fisher, dark mantle, gargoyle, this shit. What was this? Hook horror? I think it was fucking whack. A head resembling a vulture's in the torso of an enormous beetle. An exoskeleton studded by sharp, bony protuberances. Hardest one to beat? I mean, there's a lot that are similarly difficult, but what, in the whole monster manual, or like that we would find in a cave? I asked to see R5, that's why I didn't show up. Like, you mean like the hardest cave monster or the hardest monster in the monster manual? Because technically I'm pretty sure the most difficult one would be CR30. Whatever it is. The Tarrasque is typically considered the most difficult. You've got these aspects of Tiamat and Tiamat itself, but the Tarrasque is usually the most difficult creature. Yeah, the monster manual of the Tarrasque would be it. The legendary Tarrasque is possibly the most dreaded monster of the material plane. It is widely believed that only one of these creatures exists, though no one can predict where and when it will strike. A scaly biped, the Tarrasque is 50 feet tall and 70 feet long, weighing hundreds of tons. It carries itself like a bird of prey, leaning forward and using its powerful lashing tail for balance. Its cavernous maw yawns wide enough to swallow all but the largest creatures, and so great is its hunger that it can devour the populations of whole towns. Legendary destruction. The destructive potential of the Tarrasque is so vast that some cultures incorporate the monster into religious doctrine, weaving its sporadic appearance into stories of divine judgment and wrath. Legends tell how the Tarrasque slumbers in its secret lair beneath the earth, remaining in a dormant state for decades or centuries. When it awakens in answer to some inscrutable cosmic call, it rises from the depths to obliterate everything in its path. The biggest one? Probably the Tarrasque as well. Gargantuan. They just have size classes. So there's tiny, small, medium, large, huge, gargantuan. Gargantuan is the biggest size class, and Tarrasque is gargantuan. But it's not the only I don't think it's the only gargantuan. Let me view details as well so we can get a pretty picture of it. There it is. Look at him. Basically a T-Rex. Like a big ass T-Rex. But yeah, we got some cool cave creatures here. So that's what cave creatures is. These are just examples of challenges. I might prefer to. Because you could. There are a lot of things you could do here, but I'll do a non-combat thing last. So you've got elemental, you've got cave creatures, smallest ones. Hold on. That should be easy enough. What the fuck? Size, tiny, filter. Abyssal chicken. Oh. Badgers, bats, cat. Like literally just a normal cat, normal bat. They're the smallest creatures with stat blocks. Let me see what else is gargantuan. Great worm. Dragon. Ancient dragons. Oh, what is that? Oh, it comes from the dragon book. Lots of dragons. I'd like to filter out dragon. Yes, anyway, cave creatures. And then a non-combat challenge for this would be probably like, I don't know, some sort of like environmental hazard inside the actually let's take away cave creatures because that's too much combat and not enough fun stuff. So let's go with dangerous terrain, ravines, crawl spaces. This doesn't seem that great. Wait, what? So can you just like add whatever you want to your dungeon? Yeah, you create something that's going to be fun for people. Like the DM's job is to the DM is basically making a game. So like just like some game developers make Dark Souls and other game developers make Minecraft. You can make a game that's ridiculously hard, but even then you don't want it to be impossible because that's just not fun and no one will play it. Or you can make a game that's super easy. 307 of those big cunts. So that would be like Dark Souls except impossible. But yeah, you as the DM, your job is to make something that the players enjoy. Essentially. Although it's not really great to think about it like that because the stuff you make isn't necessarily what the players will do. You know, you might make a cave full of earth elementals and the players are like, I don't want to go into that cave, I want to go over here, right? And depending on the table you're at, you might be like, guys, I only really prepared the cave, I don't have anything else prepared, so can you please go in the cave? And they might be like, oh, okay, we love you. Or they might be like, no, fuck off. We go in forest. But different tables, different strokes for different blokes, you know what they say, mate. Fuck, I'm sorry. That started out, I was trying to be like Australian bogan and it ended up being some other shit. And I'm so... Yikes. And I call myself a DM. Yeah, I may as well just end it now. What's some dangerous terrain inside a cave? So ravines, yes. But let's go with crossing a ravine. Climbing a cliff, etc. And then some sort of like puzzle combat, close, the portal. Using the piece of the rod of law which the enemy leader had on their body. That would be cool. That kind of that's cool. Yeah. Stalactites, falling ones. It's funny you mentioned that. One of these creatures I was just talking about, or two of them actually. This is called a piercer. Wait,
Piercer.
I don't know if you could do that. Light blue is better. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna turn this shit off next time. I'm gonna turn that reward off so you can't use it. Clinging to the ceilings of caverns and large subterranean passages, piercers blend in perfectly with natural rock, dropping in silence to impale unsuspecting foes on the ground below. A piercer is the larval form of a roper, and the two creatures often attack in tandem. A rock-like shell encases a piercer's body, giving it the look and texture of a stalactite. That shell protects a soft, slug-like upper body that lets the piercer move across cavern walls and ceilings to position itself for prey. With its eye and mouth closed, the piercer is difficult to distinguish from ordinary rocks. So this basically hides inside a stalactite on the roof and deliberately falls on people. So yes. Yes, very much yes. And then roper is the opposite. Well, I guess they could be on the roof too. Which is just a grown-up version of a piercer. Want to hear the...
Roper.
I hardly know her. Living in caves and caverns throughout the Underdark, voracious ropers feast on whatever they can catch and seize. A roper eats any creature from Underdark beasts to adventurers and their gear. A roper has the appearance of a stalagmite or stalactite, which often allows it to attack with surprise. The creature can move slowly using thousands of sticky cilia beneath its base. It creeps up cave walls and along stone ceilings, finding the best position from which to attack. The roper is an evolved, mature form of piercer with which it shares its rock-like appearance and hunting tactics. But yes, this shit looks kind of like a penis, I won't lie. I didn't draw it. And this shit. So these hanging from the ceiling drop down, and the roper's on the ground. So this drops down, people are like, ew, gross, get this thing off me, it tried to kill me, and they stumble into a roper, and the roper's like, I hug you, and I eat you, and I kill you. And yeah, so, you know, there's their stalactites and stalagmites. Every single stalactite, every single stalagmite. Yeah. It's a little bit weird though that this thing's mouth is here and this thing's mouth is here. Oh wait, it has a mouth there. What the fuck? It has two fucking mouths. That's grotty. Grotty, I'd say. Grotty. Anyway. Yeah. So you can totally have these. These are some of my favorite cave monsters. You've also got a rust monster, which basically, let me see, rust metal. Any non-magical weapon made of metal that hits the rust monster corrodes. After dealing damage, the weapon takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to damage rolls. If its penalty drops to -5, the weapon is destroyed. Non-magical ammunition made of metal that hits the rust monster is destroyed after dealing damage. There you bloody well go, mate. These are very scary. One mouth is for eating stone, the other's for eating people. They eat stone? I don't know if it said that, but I didn't read the whole thing. Because the way it describes it, it seems more like they use it to cling to the roof, but... well, this doesn't actually say that it eats anything, but it does say impale unsuspecting foes. Also, welcome. It's True Blue. Could have sworn they like eat into the rock a bit. Well, they might, and it also, there's probably like other editions, like previous editions of D&D that maybe have more detail about the piercer. This is just what's on D&D Beyond. Yeah, this doesn't mention. Technically, this doesn't even say that it eats people, but it just kind of heavily implies it. It doesn't really mention their actual diet. The Roper, though. The Roper does say a Roper eats any creature from underdark beasts to adventurers and their gear. So a Roper can definitely eat inanimate objects like armor and gear. So based on that alone, it's not crazy to think a piercer maybe eats rock a little bit, just a little nibble. Average massive penis. Misclick. Man, I hate doing that too. Just like sitting there, like your arms, it's like whoa, and type out the words massive penis. Like happens so often. A Roper has 6 nubs set along its body through which it extrudes sticky tendrils. Oh, here we go. A Roper can digest anything it eats with the exception of platinum, gemstones, and magic items, which can sometimes be retrieved from the creature's gizzard after death. A Roper's digestive juices are also valuable, fetching a high price from alchemists who use them as solvent. So yeah, there's definitely an implication, well not an it's saying it, that they can eat pretty much anything. So platinum, gemstones, and magic items are the kind of loot you find in their tum-tum. Very good. Very likey. But in this case, I actually probably wouldn't use them too much because this is an elemental themed idea. Or we're at 2 hours too. So yeah, we've got a little basic plan there written out. Very cool. And I may as well kill this page break. So this was just going to be a general kind of freeform section because I didn't really have an idea for how to structure it. So let me grab the Aarakocra, because we're actually looking at the Aarakocra, believe it or not, True Blue. That's what we were actually talking about, but I was just planning a little adventure for it. There's like trading in this game. Well, so we need to understand averages that in D&D it's just a bunch of people sitting around a table using their imagination. Yeah, just playing pretend with rules, with like dice and some rules. And a referee being the DM. So you're literally just playing pretend, but following the same rules that everyone else at the table is following so that it's fair. Like, that's it. So you can do whatever you like. You don't even have to fight anything. You could just talk to people in the town and trade stuff. It depends entirely on what the other people you're playing with want to do and what you want to do as a group. So you might have a game that's like everyone just wants to go into a dungeon and kill all the enemies in there and get lots of loot. Also, it's like a game. It's just like... Did you know that D&D is based on the Baldur's Gate video game? Please don't lynch me. I'm just kidding. It's the other way around. But if you want a video game version of D&D, try Baldur's Gate. Especially the latest one, Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't tried it yet, but I've been told great things about it. So if you want a bit of a taste of D&D, it's not the same because it's a video game, so it's still limited, but it's kind of a similar idea, I guess. It's obviously very much inspired by D&D, and it's set in the same world as D&D. Glorious Zote, I have my complaints about Baldur's Gate or about this stream. If it's the first one, air them out. If it's the second one, I will pretend I didn't hear that. No, air them out either way, honestly. Also, welcome. I bit my fucking lip. That's 1d4 points of damage right there. Probably just take the spoon out. Feels too much on the romance side. Every character is romanceable, no matter your sex/race. Even the girl who abhors Gith jumps on your cock pretty damn fast, even if you are a Gith. It's about stream here in the bin. Exactly. Fair enough. I don't know. I haven't played it. I've only heard my friends have told me about it. And they did mention romance options, but when they told me about it, they said that it depends on... Like, anyone can romance anyone, but the speed at which you convince them depends on your, like, race and stuff. Every character pretty much gets into you in the first few days. Fair enough. But what if you just ignore the romance aspect? Is the game still fun? If you just don't think about the fact that other players are romancing than NPCs? I mean, I'm pretty damn sexy, not gonna lie. I mean, I just met you, True Blue, and I can't say I disagree. I mean, you have good taste in streamers. First D&D like game I played, so can't judge too hard. It's so-so. Okay, that's a fair. That sounds like a fair review. And technically, I guess it is early access, so maybe they will adjust that. But it doesn't sound like they will. I think there's probably a lot of people who are just like, I'm so happy I can fuck every character. So I kind of agree with you that it would be cool if there were hard limits like, no, I will not do that because of who you are. But at the same time, I guess, then you'd get people complaining that it's like kind of like in-character racism or something. So it's tricky waters for the Baldur's Gate devs to navigate. I have amazing taste in stream. Yeah, I agree. My favorite streamer is me, mainly because I'm incredibly interesting and extremely entertaining. Yo, I was thinking the same thing about myself. I definitely am not starved for content. Oh, me neither. Let me just sit here and drink the last of my Milo while we just talk about D&D in a Google Doc. Huh? In all seriousness though, True Blue, what do you typically stream? I totally don't make cringe jokes until they become funny. It's kind of reaching a point where I don't even know if you actually stream or if you are just describing me. Like, please tell me you actually stream and you're just weirdly similar to me and not that you're just being me. Okay. That's fine. I wasn't phased at all. We're having a good time. Out of curiosity, what do you typically stream? What do you typically stream, True Blue? Because I actually typically stream games that have nothing to do with D&D, mostly sci-fi stuff. But I also love D&D, and I decided I wanted to start going through the monster manual just for something fun to do. And this is the first stream I've done about D&D, and I'm starting with the Aarakocra. And next time I do it, it'll be the Aboleths. So, just gonna work my way through it. Stream Warframe and D&D Homebrew. Nice. Moving right now, but once I get settled, I'll probably also stream some of the other games I used to enjoy a lot. Very nice. Excusez-moi. Cool. What are the other games? Oh yeah, where was I at here? Oh yeah, this is okay because this section was just like completely free form. But refer to the stat block in the monster manual. Got it. Asked me. Who do they typically fight? Gargoyles. How would they be used to fighting? In the air, I guess. I guess they'd just be fighting in the air. Or trying to to force the gargoyles to the ground or something. But then the gargoyles would be doing the same thing to them. So let's look at the gargoyle stat block. Let's look that up. That's we've got that right here. They're immune to a bunch of things, immune to poison, resistant to that. Oh yeah, you know what we need to get up is the fucking Aarakocra, dude. A lot of games in my library I haven't even touched yet. Dark Souls, Red Dead Redemption, Monster Hunter, Ark, Planet Zoo / Coaster, Devil May Cry, and The Witcher just sitting there. I enjoyed The Witcher 3, but I never actually finished it. And one of my friends is very upset about that. Or would be if I reminded them of it, because they love Witcher. And I actually really like Witcher. Like the world of it, but the game just didn't hook me that much. Let me have a look at this here. Okay, so they do a bit of extra damage when they do a diving attack. Their Talon is non-magical slashing. Their Javelin is non-magical piercing, which gargoyles are resistant to. So what would they do to get around that? They do a lot of diving attacks, which they could only do if the gargoyles are 30 feet below them. So they need to get higher than the gargoyles to do that. So they would definitely want to bring the gargoyles to the ground. Wait, this is challenge rating 2. And also these guys are challenge rating 1/4. Which means these would need to have great numbers to take on gargoyles as well. They'd have to outnumber them. Currently using my husband's desktop because mine was too expensive to ship and his graphics card can't handle things that are too intensive. Fair enough. This sucks. Problem with races like the Aarakocra is the extra trouble you gotta go through making armor that accommodates for their damn wings. Well, that's trouble they have to go through. As the DM, I just click my fingers and say, hey, they went through all this trouble and now they have this armor. Malevolent, I'm gonna head out for the night. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks, man. You have a good one too. Thank you for the 10 bits. But yeah, you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. And you're living in an Airbnb, True Blue. Damn. Is it a nice Airbnb though? I've got this open in front of me. Oh yeah, because of the screen is on. Also has to be very light. That's true. But I think that only really matters if you're doing it as a player character, right? Or if you want to homebrew a version of them that wears different armor, I guess. Because AC of 12 is pretty low. As far as... Although, it's probably normal for a CR of 1/4. But... Yeah, so there would be... Actually, let me start taking these notes. I'm going to have to drag this stuff over onto my other... Oh, wait. Hold on. We can fit that all on this screen. Let me just zoom out on this one. You might not like this. Let me get rid of that. And I might swap them around. Oh wait, I forgot I moved the camera. There we go. Oh, the chat's not a great spot either, is it? It's pretty nice, just renting the room, and the host and his family are very kind to me. Oh, that's good. Their daughter is 12 and she's hilarious. Kids are so... I think they're great. I always... Well, I guess I'm not baffled, but I am always kind of... I can't really relate to people who just like, oh, I hate kids. It's like, I mean, I get that they're annoying and they're gross, but they're so funny and cute. Like, how can you hate them? Sorry, I'm just adjusting the laptop is up here on top of my desk. The laptop is running the stream, and I'm adjusting where the chat is on the screen. Magic. I cast translocate chat. Misty chat. That's a bonus action. I legit, she was like playfully arguing with them at one point while they were working in the kitchen, and they won the argument, so she just turned the light off and left. I legitimately thought she was at least 16. She's super tall and very mature for her age. Fair enough. That's a power move, though. Early teenager kind of passive aggression? Ah, yes. Fair enough. Happens to the best of us. Oh, right, air elementals. I forgot about them as well. They would be helping. And they, CR5. That was scary. Oh, you followed. Thank you for the follow, True Blue. Appreciate it. Let me. Am I fair to assume that you are Australian? Since your name is It's True Blue? Is that a bold assumption? No? Extremely fair. Alright, good. Cool. Oh no, I thought you meant that I was right, but you're not Australian. Are you like in or near Australia? Well, where does it come from if not to do with Australia? Like, where does the name True Blue come from? That's the only place I've heard the phrase True Blue is from Australian, like, culture. I don't even... All I know that it means is Australian. Like, if something is True Blue, it means it's Australian. So... where does it come from for you? Or are you an imposter? Do you know it means Australian and you're lying to everyone, making them think you're Australian? What was I doing? Oh yeah, so I was figuring out that in order for the Aarakocra, to be effective against gargoyles, they would be trying to get above them and do dive attacks in great numbers. Used to be blue ink, but everyone read it as blue lunk. So I eventually got to the point where I wanted to start over on Twitch anyway, and I figured I'd change my name, but everyone was already used to calling me Blue. I wanted a name that would remind me to be real. Fair enough. That's very cool. That's very wholesome. I actually already have a friend called Blue, so I wouldn't call you Blue. But his name was less creative because his name is just Blue. Like, no, his real name, but I've only ever met him online. He lives in New Zealand, so I've just always known him as Blue. I know his real name, but I learned that after. So his name is Blue, but there are people who call him Jacob. Oh, I just realized I probably shouldn't just say that, but it's a first name. It's harmless. But yeah, to me, his name is Blue. It's because I only know him as Blue. Telling someone earlier that you were in a voice call once, and this person was like, Blue Ink? That's such a black name? Huh? I don't know if I'm just clueless or if that's just a weird thing for a person to say, because I don't... Mainly because they are correct. But, like, I don't get it at all. I don't get it either. Yeah. That's probably the most annoying part, right? Like, you have no idea what they mean by that, but they're right. Don't understand why? Yeah. I'm not even going to guess at it. I'm far too pasty to ever understand other cultures. It is my culture to not understand other cultures. So, you know, that's the way of us. That's what we do. But my entire family is white except me, so I understand even less. Yeah, I'm clueless. I couldn't help at all. I mean, the only place my brain goes is that ink Like literally black. Like ink is black. That's it. That's obviously not what they meant, but like, no idea. No idea. Blue. No, true. Like I don't know. Okay, I'm literally grasping at straws. I got nothing. That's just weird. Blue ink can't be black because it's blue. I'm sorry. I've set it off now. Let's move on. Now you're true blue. You're no longer blue ink. You don't have to worry about that. Now your name is Australian. Now it's such an Australian name. That's such an Australian name, by the way. You're Australian, aren't you? Yeah, you're Australian. Any more blue blanc. I should try to get back to this because I'm only going to hang around for another half hour or so. So I'm just thinking, I'm probably overthinking this. I should probably mostly just focus on their stat block. So what they would do is do lots of dive attacks. They would throw javelins and they would do dive attacks. They'd probably start with throwing javelins. How's their strength? It's not very good. Their dexterity is much better. So they wouldn't bother trying to grapple or anything. Be productive. I'm trying. It's my first time being productive. Oh, there's an extra space in there. There's the real problem. Let's not work on what we're meant to be working on. Let's fix the extra spaces. In order for Aarakocra to be effective against gargoyles, yeah. See, this is just straight up. Immediately more than I should have done. So Aarakocra, or we're on a page titled Aarakocra. They would probably start with javelins from midair, sweeping when they run out. I think, you know. Because, like, what range can they get to? 30, that's actually not very far. That's not very far at all. They're very weak. Swapping? I meant swooping. That's pretty basically how I would run an individual Aarakocra, but might have dedicated javelin throwers or archers, and dedicated swoopers using I don't know, better weapons. Their bones are literally hollow. That's true. I'm blanking though why you brought that up. My brain's gone. What was I talking about that involves bones? Super when they run out, dedicated javelin throwers archers, and dedicated swoopers. So they're weak. That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. This happens a lot, by the way. It's very much a trademark of my stream. Is in the like maybe 10 seconds it takes someone's like chat message to appear in response to something I've said, I've already forgotten what I said and can't figure out the relation. I think the AC should be higher just because they can fly and be harder to hit. Yeah, that's true. It's a little brutal, but I guess it's just kind of been calculated per the rules, you know. It's 10 plus 2 for dex, and they're obviously not wearing any armor, which is a little silly because they could totally wear something like leather armor, right? Like, I don't know, but Do that all the time. Someone says something and I get an error 404. Sometimes I say something and get an error 404. Yeah, it's usually like I say something. Oh, well, like just now when I said they're weak and then you reply to it. And then, yeah, by the time I read your reply, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Since when we're talking about hollow bones. Yeah, it's a problem. Well, it's a fun problem. Like D&D, I guess. We're deliberately putting problems in front of ourselves. Oh yeah, you don't put a full stop there because I haven't completed it. What kind of weapons would the dedicated swoopers use? Maybe... Oh, wait. I guess this is one of their javelins. Let's say a spear. Using spears. That seems appropriate. Get into the groove and get super productive. Write one sentence and then completely forget what I'm doing. It definitely happens to me more when I'm streaming, but I haven't done a lot of writing while streaming. It's usually playing video games. I'm gonna leave this here as my how to run them in combat. Because they're not very complex creatures, stat block wise. So realistically, if they're fighting something difficult, they'd summon an air elemental. Like if they had like even a handful of gargoyles to deal with, they'd gather around and summon an air elemental. Oh, actually that's a great point that I should just write down is in the face of overwhelming odds. Hold on, it says it in here. No, it doesn't. It says it in here. 5 Aarakocra within 30 feet of each other can magically summon an air elemental. Okay, in the face of overwhelming odds, 5 Aarakocra will attempt to summon an air elemental. Say they will gather and attempt to summon it, because that was necessary. Social. So they'd be... I think they'd mostly be kind of aloof. Alright, so I gave myself a goal here of a few key personalities and one default personality. Let's do default, sort of aloof, uncaring, focused on guarding or scouting. But not overly proud or arrogant, because I don't think that's them. My brain just stops and immediately goes to, how did I get here? What did I walk it through? How long have I been streaming? Did I leave my hair curler on? I don't use a hair curler. Did mom leave her hair curler on? I should call mom and ask how she's doing. Insert more shower thoughts. All right, I'm streaming, Ella. I have definitely had moments, especially, you know, I'm not exactly a big streamer, right? When I thought I was alone and I have forgotten that I was streaming. And then I'll look at the chat again and I'll be like, oh, there's a message. And then sometimes they've already left because I didn't reply. Yeah, it's not great. But anyway, Average is back. How you doing, Average? I don't remember where you went. Let me scroll up. See, this is great. I wish my brain was like this. I wish I could scroll up in my brain. That'd be rad. Oh, you just said BRB. Ages ago. What's not great? Oh, me when I forget that I'm streaming. When my brain blanks. I actually remember what I was talking about. Wow. This is big. But yeah, we were just talking about being forgetful streamers, Average. Are you a forgetful streamer? I bet you know. I bet you're just like kind of average. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Anyway, default personality for random unnamed Aarakocra is aloof, uncaring, focused on guarding or scouting. Uncaring makes them seem rude. Aloof. but not rude. Focus on guarding or scouting. Not overly proud or arrogant. Will engage in very brief conversation. Because I'm trying to think of them as like blank walls that just kill my brain. I see a blank spot on the wall and it's like a deer in the headlights. I haven't heard that before. That's an interesting character trait. Interstellar music starts playing. Just like into like a corner. I'm just drawn into it. Equations fly through the air. What should be there? Why is nothing there? Is it okay that there's nothing there? What is blankness? Little do you realize you are demonstrating blankness with the look on your face as you stare into nothingness. I think that's good for a default personality, and then a key personality would be something like a leader. Would be less patient and more focused on the objective at hand. Well, if they have nests, it's like that for me, but with the oh my god. We were having a pretty decent conversation. I wish I could say I was thinking something, but I'm actually kind of not, but I am thinking so much so far that it feels like nothing, but also everything at the same time. I feel like I can relate to that, but it's hard to say. Snap out of it, forget everything, get tired, and go take a nap. I definitely can relate to that. Although I don't often actually take the nap, but I do often want to take a nap. That's why I have a hard cutoff for my cutoff for my streams. Thank you, Average, for your amazing input. Brilliant. You are a thought leader of our time, Average. What I was saying is that's why I have a cutoff for my streams, is because I could just keep going, but I really need to nap afterwards. If I just kept going, I'd end up streaming very late, which would be bad. Oh, I don't have work tomorrow. Leader would be less patient, more focused. So I'm thinking because they have nests on top of the mountains, there would be someone to take care of the babies. So there would be like a nurse or some sort of motherly figure, right? What would they call that? Usually just lay down and zone out until I sit up. Think I just woke up. I need to realize I didn't sleep at all and then feel salty about it for the rest of the day. Like, oh, what a nice nap. Wait, no, it wasn't. Angry noises. I'll say like nurse type would be more patient and I don't know, I almost want to say a hippie, because they're very like, we just go with the wind, bro, we go where the wind takes us, but they're also militaristic. But the nurse ones would be less militaristic, so they'd be more like a hippie. Waking up and choosing violence. Lay down, zone out, wake back up. I have no idea how, but there's 8 liters. I hate that you put the problematic part right at the end, so I read the whole thing. You don't wake up, you just choose violence. I know what part of the sentence is most concerning. Yeah, there's a few. Probably 3 major parts of that. It does seem like, Average was actually asking a lot of questions. I don't know if you were here earlier. I'm not going to scroll up this time. When Average was asking questions about D&D, he's learning a lot. But it seems like since he came back, he has woken up and chosen violence, let's say. Chosen draft come. But interesting choice. Anyway, nurse type would be more patient and I don't want to say airheaded. Like it's not. I don't want to be mean to them. Like so, there's the sheer quantity, the substance itself, also the fact that it came from a giraffe. Yeah, they're the three in my head. Can there be a giraffe come in D&D? Average, I hate to say it, but yes, there can. There can be absolutely anything in D&D, as long as everyone in the table is into it. I'm going to regret that phrasing, but it is true. This is why I'm now second guessing my idea to like try to run some sort of D&D-esque experience with the Twitch chat, because yeah, that could be problematic. I'll keep thinking on that one. If the DM put it in the game, the players will get mad and leave, and if a player puts it in the game, the DM and the rest of the players get mad and kick that person out. Yeah, pretty much. And if you were at a table that didn't want to kick you out for that, I don't even know if I'd call that D&D, to be honest. That's something else. That's something else. Don't worry, I'll be good. This game is genuinely interesting. I know you're genuinely interested, but I also know you have this chaotic energy that you need to mention come every now and then. As long as you don't try to use the cop command in the chat, you'll be fine. Chaotic sexual, you did call that earlier. If you're at a table with people are okay with that, run. You are in significant danger. Run. That little meme. Yeah. Anyway, I'm still trying to figure out the next word in this sentence. More patient and willing to converse, to take a break from tending to the hatchlings. Yes, there we go. Now that is a parent mindset. Happy to do anything that you take a break from taking care of the children. Yes. And maybe one more that's not a leader or a nurse. Summoner. Summoners know. Summoners. The most detached and slightly arrogant, as they care more about returning to their home plane as quickly as possible. And they're the ones that summon the air elementals. It says any Aarakocra can summon an air elemental, but I'm just going to say that certain ones are like that. He is a... Should be a world magic bard. Yeah, wait, why is... That is kind of weird that the bard is not the one that got wild magic. But the sorcerer got it, and then the barbarian got some? I'm going to make a wild magic bard now. I'm going to make a wild magic bard. Okay. Please do. Average. You're the erection wizard, or whatever it was called you mentioned earlier. It was transmutation and evocation. Transmutation is about changing one thing into another. We don't need to explore that, but evocation is like fireballs and lightning bolts and basically destruction, basically. Maybe dial it down a bit, average. I think. No, you've probably got a lot of chaotic energy right now, but don't want to go too far with that. Getting into some risky territory there. So, I am nearly finished putting this together because there was something I did have to prepare earlier. Okay, something I prepared earlier. So, let me recap social, right? So I've got the default, which is aloof but not rude, focused on guarding or scouting, not overly proud or arrogant, will engage in brief conversation. Then we have a leader who is less patient and very focused on the objective, very militant. In fact, let's call them militant leader to really send that home. Nurse type would be more patient, willing to converse, to take a break from tending to the hatchlings. And summoners are the most detached and slightly arrogant, as they care more about returning their home plane as quickly as possible. Home plane and their studies as quickly as possible. So exploration. The goal I set for myself was to create a non-combat puzzle, which requires the PCs to learn about the creature in order to solve it. Also create a reward for solving the puzzle, which is themed around the creature. Mega Bard energy. Yeah, he'll be good. Thank you, Average. I appreciate it. So I did already prepare something because I was just, I was thinking about exploration. Oh my god. And how the hell I would do that. And like what it even means. Because that's one of the hardest things to sort of conceptualize. Because D&D claims to have these 3 pillars of gameplay, when in reality, it's got this massive combat pillar, and this very small social pillar, and this tiny little exploration pillar, because there aren't really a whole lot of mechanics that help with that stuff. I'm gonna look because you're getting a phone call? Okay. I'll continue the explanation for you though, Average. Because the rules of D&D are mostly revolve around combat. It's mostly a combat game, but it has some very, very basic rules you can apply for social encounters, and there's not really a whole lot to help with exploration directly. Oh, excuse me. There are things that help, but there's nothing that's like, this is how you explore. So I decided to go with the non-combat puzzle. So, the puzzle. Hold on. Something seems wrong here. Player's tiny exploration pillar. Where's the coast? But the ranger. God, the ranger's like. I have to say, I like the idea of the favored enemy and terrain, but yeah, it's so lackluster in the way it actually works. Poorly designed, yeah. So true. See, even Average knows. He's never even touched D&D. Even he knows. Full versatility, highly situational, yeah. And they sort of try to make up for it with like, I think one of the things that stands out to me about how weird the Ranger is how you choose one of those 3 sort of, I don't know what they are, I don't know what they're called, but they're like, it's like a fighting style, but not really. Let me look it up. Ranger D&D Beyond. You're probably going to tell me before I get to it, but I'm going to find it anyway. Jump to favorite enemy, natural explorer, fighting style, ranger archetype, primeval awareness. I don't know. Maybe it's in here. Wait, I'm sure you... I'm confused now. Wasn't there like a... Okay, so the thing I'm thinking of is like Colossus Slayer or Horde Slayer or whatever. Like, remember those options? Do you know what I'm talking about? Where are they at? Am I like blind? I swear there were those... Almost like a fighting style, but not really. Oh, well, I have the source. I have the source book collection, which I bought a few years ago. Which that was a dent. Anyway, I don't actually. You know what? I have the book, and I'm pretty sure where I saw it. So let me just get the book out. Okay, let me find them ranges. Where y'all at? Ranger. Oh, it's a specific subtype. It's the hunter that gets hunter's prey, and then you get Colossus Slayer, Giant Killer, or Horde Breaker. I thought it was all rangers because I've never played a ranger. So that will be in here. That'll be in Hunter. Yeah, here, these. So like this thing, Colossus Slayer, right? It makes it sound like it's for hunting big creatures, but it's literally just if any creature for really now gonna alert. Oh damn, okay. That's alright. Well, average, for your benefit. It makes it sound like you're gonna gain a benefit against, like an advantage against big creatures, like you're good at killing big creatures. But the benefit you get is against all creatures. Like all that has to happen is that they're already hurt and you get some extra damage. Like it's so simple and it doesn't really match the story, like the flavor text, the description. And it's just, to me, it was just like, I'm sure it's mathematically balanced, but that's so boring. You know? Like it's like you get slightly better sneak attack, like a rogue, if they're already hurt. That's it. And then there's Giant Killer, which sounds the same with different words, which does do what you would expect. And you get a bonus against larger creatures. And then Horde Breakers get best against multiple creatures. But the Colossus Slayer one's the one everyone always picks because it's just free damage. Silly Ranger, exactly average. That's all I needed to hear from you. Done. Education, lesson, D&D 101 is over. If you know that the Ranger is silly, you're ready to play, man. You're ready. Pick up some dice. In fact, you've already got some. Here. Goblins are attacking. Use the roll to command. Make goblins attack average. Alright, you gotta beat a 2. It's on you. Goblins are rolling in. Can you beat a 2? It could be difficult. No, it's 2 L's. ROLL 2, and then write what you're doing. So you can write like roll to defend myself, or roll to attack goblins. Just copy and paste what I wrote, and then replace like make goblins attack average with whatever you want. Doesn't matter. You can put nothing there if you want, but it's more fun if you write a description. Roll to don't follow goblins away. Roll 6 up on the goals, but you got an 8. No! You successfully released an absolute torrent, a torrential rain of cum, a tidal wave. They are submerged in this wave of white liquid, and it makes a very gross noise, which I will not be reenacting. And it doesn't actually travel that far because it's too viscous. It just kind of like flops down on them, and it's like have you seen what people look like at Pompeii when like the pyroclastic flow froze them in spot, and they're all like, it's like that, but it's not pyroclastic flow. It's something else. So that's what the goblins look like now. Sorry for spelling raw wrong. I'm a bit of a silly cunt. You know what? We're all silly cunts around here, mate. But yeah, let me get a picture or a link to Pompeii victims. Yeah, just Google Google Pompeii victims. That's what the goblins look like now. Anyway, what the fuck? There is an ancient vault with weapon and armor symbols on it, on the door. In the floor of a cave. Send in a swarm of goblins to castrate Atomic Order 15? Oh shit. Roll to how will I stop it? Want to summon I like this one. Ah, shit. That's not good. So send in a swarm of goblins to castrate Atomic. I guess I just got castrated. Yikes. I don't need to narrate that one. It'd be a short story anyway. It's over for you, Atomic. Roll to have the high ground. I got a 4 for high ground. No! Shit. An ancient vault in the floor of a cave. Weapon and armor symbols decorating its surface. There is a massive keyhole in the middle with a multi-colored totem in it. To stack the totem. If that's all D&D is, that shit sounds fun as. I mean, that's oversimplified, because in D&D you would actually have a sheet that tells you, like, you know, you can plus things or minus things from the roll. So for example, if your character is really strong and you need to make a strength roll, then you would add lots to the roll. So you might roll a 5, but you have +5 to strength, so it's actually a 10. Or if your character's really stupid and you have to make an intelligence roll, it might be -3. You roll a 19, it's actually a 16 because you had to subtract 3. But other than that, yeah, that's basically it. That's the gameplay. Without the castrating goblins, I wouldn't jump too quickly to that. I mean, there could totally be goblin castration in D&D. Like, it could happen. Depends on the table you're playing at. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Which is why I kind of want to run it for you in like on Twitch. Oh, we're at 3 hour mark. Let me finish up this little puzzle here. There's an ancient vault in the floor of a cave under the mountain peak with weapon and armor symbols decorating its surface. There is a massive keyhole in the middle with a multicolored totem in it. You need to stack the totem in order with... hold on. The totem has removable blocks, which correspond to Aarakocra ranks. Military ranks. Ancient Aarakocra military ranks. In order with the highest rank at the top. One. No longer used. And, well, yeah, I don't need to specify that. Knowledge check only reveals that they are Aarakocra ranks and not the order. Higher roll reveals some known ranks. Nat 20 reveals all. Requires interacting with the Aarakocra in some way to learn their ranking system. And then we have all of this cool stuff. But anyway, there's a vault. You got to know their military ranks to get into the vault. Roll for atomic to stay longer. Roll to atomic stay longer and got a 3. Yeah, sorry, champ. So I can actually stay on a little longer, but I kind of want to like restart the stream because I want to export this as like a video to YouTube and I don't want to have to edit it. Like, I'm so lazy. So if I stop and restart the stream, it'll be 2 separate streams. You know? I don't know. I just. But what would I do? By the way, I'm finished. Like I did the cool thing where I made stuff. So we now have this document about the Aarakocra. So cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I did a thing. So now that's there. The Aarakocra document is done. And I'll well, that's it. You just flick on over to webcam only. But yeah, so we made a little thing talking about the Aarakocra. And next time, not next stream necessarily, but the next time I do something like this, it'll be the next page, which is the aboleths, which are way more like bigger threats. Coming back or not, I don't know. I'm still deciding. I'm here to chat for a bit though. I'm trying to think, what would I play? You could play Deep Sky Derelict. Play a bit of Deep Sky. Wouldn't be long. But alright, you know, let me end this stream and I will restart it and I'll play some Deep Sky Derelicts. Just quickly. Okay. So alright. And I guess since technically I want to put this on YouTube, but no one's ever going to watch it, but just in case you do, thanks for watching. And thank you, Average, for hanging out and for hanging out in Deep Sky Derelicts after this. And also Blue, True Blue, yes, who is currently on hold. But yeah, that's all for tonight. Take care of yourselves. I mean, that's all for this video before I restart the stream. Take care of yourselves. Good luck with your stuff and have fun. And let me restart the stream real quick. Yeet.